Hey guys, what's going on? It's Jack here. It's been a while since we've done face-to-face like this, so thought it'd be a good idea to finally do one after so long. And it's been about, I think it's about 9:30, 10 at night, and like, to be completely honest, I've been stuck in the house all day, doing a bit of work, chilling out. It is a public holiday here in Queensland, so it's Monday night of filming this, and just chilling out, hanging out with the family a little bit today. And I had a few thoughts pop into my head, and that's why another reason why I wanted to do this video. So I just went for a drive around. That's why I got out of the house and went for a bit of a drive. I'm not even tired yet. I think my sleeping pattern's destroyed right now. But I thought I'd make a video because I've had, I've seen a lot on social media. You guys probably see it a lot too, and online, and maybe people around you and that. Just all about, it's revolved around the whole sort of mindset of, people being scared to do stuff, or people being self-conscious of, who they are, and it stops them from doing stuff in general or pursuing what they want to do. And I'm going to tell you guys a bit about my thoughts on that, and tell you guys a bit of stuff about me, and when I was growing up, and how I sort of overcame that, and what my struggles were and things like that, because I think it's good to voice stuff like that, so you can really gain perspective on someone, and if they've had any struggles, and to also tell people that it's okay that if you're self-conscious about something, or you're scared to do something, because at the end of the day, everyone has that, whether it's something to do with themselves, whether it's something to do with their family, anything like that. So I'm going to tell you guys a bit about my story, and when I was a teenager growing up, and some of the things I had that I was growing up. So I'm now 24 years old, and basically, when I was growing up, I guess, like, when I was brought up, I was very fortunate to have a good family around me, loving parents, and we weren't really struggling with money. Being said that, my parents they run their own business. Of course, they go through struggles running their own business, but I was fortunate enough to not be in a situation where if we need to buy a pair of shoes, we couldn't afford a pair of shoes, or we couldn't afford to put food on the table or anything like that. There was nothing like that, so I'm very grateful for that. Growing up, I was grateful in that sense. The parts where I struggled was when I was growing up. There was only two things, growing up, and that really, for me, it all came down to, self-awareness and my whole mental game. So the two things were, one, when I was growing up, especially in my teenage years, I'd say around 14, 15, I was quite overweight, and that was what eventually led me into getting into the gym. And then that was one of the things. So my weight was one of the things. Then when I got a little bit older, let's just say, sorry if this keeps falling down, I don't know what's going on. But how do I move this? There we go. It's probably going to keep falling down, but we'll adjust as we go. So yeah, weight was one of the things. Now that got fixed later on because I decided to actually do something about my health and fitness again. That was my own personal fault, because I wasn't looking at what I was eating, and I was doing a bit of exercise but not really taking it too seriously. So that was my own fault. But that was one thing, was my weight. I was quite overweight as a kid. Second thing was my height. So basically, coming from an Italian family, not of a lot of Italians usually that tall. So my height is around 5'5", maybe at the most, maybe around 5'6". So I'm not very tall at all. And growing up, especially being in a school environment, high school, you'd have people start to notice, because everyone hit their growth spurts and whatnot. And I'm like, hey, where's my growth spurt going to come? When am I going to hit 5'10", 6 foot? And finding out later on, I was like looking at my parents, looking at my grandparents. I'm like, wait a minute, this isn't going to happen. I'm not going to grow anymore. So growing up in the high school sort of school scenario there, you'd always have people, pick it out, and you'd have people comment on it, and you'd have people, saying all kinds of things about it. So And also, I don't know if this is quite legal, me having my light on, but what can you do, you know? If a cop comes along, I'll turn it off. But that was another hurdle that I had to overcome going through high school, and especially just out of school. It's something that I personally struggled with, and especially, you know, when I started working, I worked in retail for quite a bit, and for some reason, a lot of people that work in retail are like 6 foot or over. I don't know why. Everyone that I work with, there were so many tall people. The men were tall, and a lot of females were tall as well. And I don't know why everyone was tall, and everyone would obviously look at everyone else, and then they'd see me and they go, "What, you know? Why are you so short?" And it like, to be honest, it bugged me for a really, really long time. And I think I'm really grateful for working in retail, because it made me thicken my skin. Because as soon as anyone would say something, I'd just hide away, and I'm just like, oh, you know, they don't take me seriously because I'm not as tall as them, and that's how I thought. And it really made me thicken my skin, because overall I worked in retail for 4.5 to 5 years, and it really did make me thicken my skin. And now, I'm not going to draw on with that too long, but it really made me hide away and not. And it got me to the point where my insecurities made me doubt myself, and you guys probably go through that too. And yeah, it would always make me second guess myself, and you know, if I had an opinion or if I wanted to say something, I'd always second guess myself because I didn't think anyone would take me seriously. That's how bad it got. So at that point, you know, coming out of school, I'd gotten into the gym, and I'd lost weight. You know, coming out of school, I'd lost weight, but you know, I was still struggling with that whole thing with my height. So I basically, you know, after working in retail for so long, I'm telling the story because I had my own personal stuff as well. You know, it wasn't like I got picked on for being stupid or got picked on for being Italian or anything like that. For me, and it wasn't like I was always singled out and bullied. I had friends. I knew how to make friends. It wasn't that I was socially awkward. When I was younger, I was quite shy, but you know, later on, I knew how to make friends. So that wasn't the problem. It was just like these snide comments here and there, which everyone does to heaps of people, and you guys might have this yourself. And those comments and whatnot, I used to take internally, really personally, and I'd always, you know, yeah, take it really personally, and I'd make myself doubt myself. You know, all my you know, all my suggestions that I had, all the opinions that I had, my judgment, I'd always second guess myself. And yeah, it affected me to the point where, you know, I wouldn't have too much confidence. And basically, that, you know, the reason I'm telling the story is just to let you guys know, you know, my side and what I struggled with. Now, the good side of this is that you know, how I was able to overcome this is I started, you know, putting things in my ears, putting positive, I guess, reinforcement into my ears and into myself, and realizing that, you know, I had to come to terms with it, because I always think like, you know, maybe one day I'll have a growth spurt, maybe one day I'll be tall, and the whole premise was terrible. But really, the first thing I did was accept it, and then after that, you know, at this point I was going to the gym, so I'd lost my weight. This whole weight thing I was talking about, I'd gone to the gym, and that also, so that plus working in retail really helped me solidify, you know, my stance in myself, and really give myself confidence. And I was able to lose weight. I ended up losing like 15 kilos from when I was my heaviest to, I think, to my lightest now, and well, back then. And you know, that you know, I was able to prove to myself. And then from there, I was like, okay, I'm going to go and become a personal trainer, because back then I wanted to be a personal trainer. I went through and, you know, I did my certificate 3 at TAFE, and then I went and ended up doing my certificate 4 and became a personal trainer. So I'm a qualified personal trainer as well. So I did that, and then I ended up doing a gaming diploma as well. Further solidified in my mind that I could achieve stuff. So once I started losing weight, once I started studying, this was outside of school now, and achieving stuff, and once I thickened my skin through working in retail, because I would get shit every day, and the way, you know, where I worked in that retail shop, it was just a thing that we did. We'd give each other shit. You know, if someone gave me shit for my height and they were bigger, I'd just make fun of their weight, and it was just like a back and forth thing. And that's what we did in that store, and that was retail. And you know, it might not be the healthiest thing, but you know, majority of the people they got a laugh out of it and they just did it back and forth. You might be the same in your workplace as well, but that's what we did. So I thickened my skin, so that, and plus proving to myself that I could do stuff, eventually I got into this mindset. I started beginning to go into this mindset of, okay, I can achieve stuff. My height doesn't matter at all. It's got nothing to do with how people view me or how people see me. And if they do, it just means that they're insecure themselves, and that they're, you know, that they're trying to hide their insecurities by making fun of other people. And sometimes as well, I know that it was one of the things that they could single out about me, because I know that some of these people that would make fun of me, they were somehow threatened by me in some sense. I don't know how. I'm not a violent guy or anything like that, but it, you know, somehow something would bug them about me, so they'd single that out. So I started getting to my mind that whole mindset of, you know, this stuff doesn't really matter. And the reason I'm telling this story is because if you have, you know, something that's holding you back, or if you have something that you're insecure about or anything like that, you guys got to remember that at the end of the day, no one actually really cares. They've got their own problem. Now that might sound condescending to say that no one cares, but it's actually so relieving to hear that. And really, you know, when it comes down to it, they have their own problems. So that person that called you short, or that person that called you fat, or that person that said you're ugly, or whatever it is, or, you know, giving you a bad rap or whatever, they might have problems in their family, and that's their coping mechanism, is to make fun of someone else, to make fun of you. If you show them that it gets to you, then they're going to keep doing it, and they do it to make themselves feel better. But at the end of the day, I realized that the people that are saying that, the people that are doing that, they have problems themselves. And I've gotten to the point where if someone says something to me, and when you get older, it you know, it does get better. When you're outside of school, it does get better. That's what I've found anyway. But if someone says something to me, it doesn't necessarily have to be about my height, just anything in general. And you know, they try and do it to get a reaction out of me. I actually you know, I feel real empathy for them, and I just more so feel sorry for them, because I think, like, I don't personally go out of my way to make fun of people, because I don't see the point in it. I have a lot of confidence in myself now, and I've changed my way of thinking, so I don't really see the point in it. But I feel a lot of empathy for people who do that, because I know that they're actually struggling. So just think of that. You know, the next time if you're being made fun of something, or if you're insecure in yourself about something and you think people are thinking about it, majority of the time people have their own shit going on, and they actually don't care about your problems, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing to remember. They don't actually care. So to wrap up this video, the reason I'm telling this story, and the reason I'm saying all this stuff about mindset and about going out there and not caring about what people think, is because once you know that people don't care, and once you have that confidence in yourself, you can go out and do something. You know how many people, when I first started selling on Amazon, when I was working in retail, first started selling on Amazon, and then later on, when I wanted to go out and create my own course and have my own online learning platform, people would call it, you know, if they'd ask what I'm doing, they'd say, oh, you're just doing that online thing. And I worked for my parents for a bit as well, doing stuff for them, and they just come up and say, oh, are you still doing work for your parents? Or, you know, oh, are you still working are you still, you know, in that retail job? And they'd really just look at it as if it was nothing. And by that point, I had that confidence in myself, so none of that got to me. But it just goes to show that whatever you do, there's always going to be people there that will downgrade it, they'll downplay it, and they'll really, you know, it's not so much that they'll try and put you down for it, but it's always going to be people that are negative about it. There's not, you know, people, they say that they want you to succeed majority of the time, but then when you start doing something, they'll go, oh yeah, it looks good, but, you know, oh, you're still doing this, or you're still trying to do that, and you just got to forget it. You got to not worry about what they say, and just got to go for it. Now, it's been almost, I think it's coming to about a year and a half, almost, just over a year, yeah, maybe a year and a half, that I've been doing this online platform thing, and I've focused on myself, you know, and just, it's been amazing. And I'm so in my own head. In the words of Gary Vee, I know I like to talk about Gary Vee a lot, but his mindset is what really inspires me. But I'm so inside my own head that I can't hear what people say. I literally cannot hear what people say, whether it's good or bad. You know, I'll take it in, I'll say thank you if it's good, and especially if it's bad, I just don't hear it anymore. I'm so focused on what I'm doing and what I want to achieve. It really doesn't matter. That's all I can say. And the stuff that I was insecure about when I was younger, it's so far gone now, and gosh, it's I can't even explain it. You know, all I'm telling you guys is the reason I'm making this video is because I know a lot of you need to hear it, and a lot of you, there's always, you know, every single person is struggling with something, or every single person has something that they usually worry about. You know, it could be a number of things. So you just have to think that, you know, you're not alone if you're struggling with something, and you need to remember that if you have something that you're insecure about, and you might think people judge you for it, at the end of the day, people actually do not care. They really don't care. And that is liberating for me to remember that no one cares. So I'm gonna end this video here. It's like 15, 16 minutes now. So I'm gonna leave this here. I hope this video helped you guys. The end message that I want to give to you guys for this is, if you do get stuck in a bad mindset, or if you have a bad day, because everyone has bad days, everyone has those negative days. You know, even though I'm super positive, I'll have a day here and there that, you know, I might second guess myself, or I might think, am I doing the right thing, or something like that. So if you have those days, you just got to reset, and this is what I do as well. I'll write down stuff that I've achieved, or write down stuff that I want to achieve, or I'll watch something, or I'll just put positivity into my ears, or I'll watch something that's positive, and just, you know, do stuff that helps you out. Don't hide away, and don't continue those days in a chain. I usually only have a day here and there that's like that, but really, yeah, you just have to remember to keep going with it, and yeah, don't worry about what other people say. Just go out and do your thing, do what you want to do. Apart from that, guys, I know this video is dragging on a long time. I'll probably make this into a podcast as well, but I do hope that this message, you know, really speaks to you if you are struggling with that kind of thing. And yeah, just go out there and keep killing it, guys. But apart from that, hope you guys are having a wonderful day or night wherever you're watching this, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Go out there and do stuff, trust me.